how do you know when you need a sub? And the reason I'm asking that is because in our living room right now, we have the Clips of the Five set up, right? And so we decided we're actually going to not have a TV. So when people come over, you're going to have to look at our face and actually talk to us. And so,
you don't say.
Crazy.
There's a new one.
Right? So, the Clips, the Fives, they actually Aaron knows they have, like in the default setting, they have bass, right? They have,
bass.
more than enough
like
bass if that's what you want. Yeah. But the question is like, how do you know when you need a sub? I'm sure a lot of people will hear those and say, you know what, that's a lot of bass. That's enough, right? How do you know? How do you know? What do you guys look at when you're...
You know what was funny? I'll tell you a quick little story. Last night, we were watching Mortal Kombat. Now, besides the movie and like whatever, yeah, I actually had to go check to see that my subwoofers were turned off. And I'm just running the 2 Focal towers and the, Parasound amplifier. And I'm like, wow, this is tons of bass. And I went over to the subwoofers, the 215s. I'm like, no, these things are off. There's no lights. I'm touching it. There's no bass happening. Like, I was like, damn, do I not need a sub with these things? Like, this is crazy. That's all. That's all. That's very strange.
You don't get down to 20 hertz anyway, Chana. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, regardless, Joe, the wine glasses were rattling. So I mean, I'm getting the same experience.
All that matters, man.
That's right.
If they're shaking,
that's your seismic meter.
Even Sasha was like, are you gonna turn the bass down or something? And I go over to the subwoofers. I'm like, these things aren't even on. She's like, is it just those 2 speakers? I was like, yeah. She's like, she was impressed. It takes a lot to impress Sasha. She's a tough cookie.
I knew that the comments would be hilarious. Life of Bliss with his
how is
what
this
does he have? 24s? How is this a question?
He's got three 24s.
Oh yeah, 3
you don't need it. You don't need it, Kyle. Yeah, put the subwoofer down. Step away from the sub. You don't need it.
That's a mid bass to him.
Exactly.
Angela says, I wouldn't mind a glossy black SVS Micro 3000. Actually, speaking of the 3000 Micro, Tim, didn't you win those?
I did. Officially, before I even started with you guys, I did win a 3000 Micro and the SVS Ultra bookshelves and the SVS amplifier and a few cables.
Look at there, man. Got a killer system.
Baller stuff.
That's all. Yeah. That's how we got him, because like we got him like right after he won, so his spirits were high, and we're just like, all right, let's swoop him up right now.
Yep. Yeah, and I got it in my editing station, and it's working out great. It's working out great.
What do you guys look for? Like, what would you say? When do you think you need a sub, Aaron?
I think anytime your wife will allow you to have one.
Yeah, that's probably a good answer. That's probably a good answer.
I mean, literally, like in my living room, even though I have 412 or 410s, I still would add a subwoofer, not because I need more bass. I would just want lower bass. Typically, the subwoofer, I mean, that's what it's designed to do, is to reach those lower.
But Mike, that doesn't make any sense. You have the RF73s. Like,
doesn't matter.
The music is cut off at 30, bro. The music, the mastering people cut that shit off. Like, you don't need anything lower than with those speakers,
unless you're Young Jeezy.
Go listen to some like Drake or something.
If you're doing what do you call it? I mean, in your living room, it's just music, right? There's no TV there. You guys aren't watching movies.
What?
Yep, that's correct. I still would have one though, honestly.
I mean, you got to have something to put your drink on, right? Like whatever your Coke or whatever it is that you're drinking. You sit on.
Why, just to see the T-Rex water shake from Jurassic Park? Is that what that one is for? Okay.
Whoop. It makes a little bloop sound, just like I did sound effects. Bloop.
I need to get one of those in here.
I still think even with quality speakers, loudspeakers, big speakers, I think you still can benefit even in a 2-channel setup with a subwoofer.
It's when you get down to 20 hertz is when you hear that like bass that's just like you look at somebody else like,
like that's serious.
When you hear that laugh, that's when unless you have that little giggle, you need some subs, right?
And then when you get down to the 8 hertz, you're like, your facial expression changes.
Yeah.
Check it out. This is Ray.
There you go, Hans Zimmer live. Yeah.
She is the one who destroyed this microphone, by the way. I don't know. Anybody can tell, but this thing is shredded. All right, get out of here.
She chewed on it, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she snuck in here and chewed all over it. Luckily, this was over it, so she didn't actually get the microphone itself. But yeah, she chewed all up on this thing. Let me put her up real fast.
What's up, FOMO?
FOMO's in the house. Thank you for the super chat, super sticker, FOMO. Yeah, he's chatting up people in the comments here. Thank you, buddy.
FOMO, how do you know when you need a sub when you want more bass? I don't know how you answer that question, honestly, because to me, I think like once you've heard what a sub can do, what a proper sub can do, then you're like, oh, wow, I see what I've been missing. But it's
just part of the package. It's just part of the package. You just got to get one. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we made a DIY speaker a while back called Dynas, DINAS, Do I Need a Sub? And they hit down to about, 35 hertz, right? Mm-hmm. And for the most part, like for most music, you're like, oh, that's pretty good. Like that's pretty good. So I think also it depends on the content, right? Yeah. If you're not going to be listening to stuff with a ton of bass and you don't really care for that much bass, or maybe you have neighbors and you don't want the extra bass, right?
Yeah. That's true.
Great. I think 35 is a good place to be at.
I'm with Thomas, man. Thomas, appreciate the super chat. Absolutely, man.
That's
you don't think you need one, you need one.
Yep. That's pretty good.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think it's 100% of the time for movies. Absolutely 100%. I don't think I don't know of a speaker out there that can really just like for home that really can reproduce what a subwoofer can do.
Yeah.
Well, for sure.
I mean, it had to be a big, gigantic speaker because even some of the tower speakers that I've tested with, multiple 6s or multiple 8s, they still just don't get much below even 40 or 50 hertz, and there's a whole lot of content below even 50 hertz. But
how about those Dutch though? Those 8Cs.
That's right. Those got down to 25 or 26 before they started rolling off. And this is an 8-inch woofer with 2 8-inch subs in the back of it. These things are legit. They're still legit. They're still sitting upstairs in my room, just sitting there. You can come and get them.
Being used.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've got the Klipsch Heresies. I've got stuff up there that I'm just like, y'all can come and get them. I don't need them anymore. I'm not doing anything with them.
There you go.
And I can't use them in my living room. You know what I mean? Because like the way our living room is, there's just too much going on. Like our dogs, kid, me, my wife. Like it's just too much foot traffic through there for me to keep a permanent type setup in that room. So everything is relegated to my upstairs room. If it's not
many. Yeah, I was thinking the other day too. Is like when it comes to subs, it reminded me of your outdoor setup, Michael. When you said, I think somebody said like, man, with all those speakers, I'm sure your neighbors love you. And you're like, you know what? Actually, the more speakers you have, the less loud you have to make them because they're closer to you, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of true with the subs too. You think that it's just going to be louder, but actually you don't have to turn it up as loud because you have the same output from numerous subs. So
you always have ultimate control over the volume. People think that just because you have bigger subs or multiple subs that it's going to just be overwhelming. Well, there's a thing called level matching.